Hi, Brendan here, and welcome to Personality Epistemology. So, I'm experimenting and playing around with these different sort of modes and mixes of content, and I know a lot of this is very different than people are used to seeing on YouTube. And I welcome feedback. Part of what I'm trying to do is address the what I see as a problem where there's fragmentation of knowledge. Like there's so many videos and texts and so on that each take a lot of time to consume, and then many people are consuming a lot of different content. But then partly because of the nature of algorithms missing other pieces, and so I've spent like so long looking for missing knowledge. Like, what am I missing that would really help me, or help me figure things out, or help other people that I could bring together? And I believe I found a pretty wide, deep range of content and knowledge and concepts and so on, examples, stories. And yet, it's complicated delivering this in a way that's also consumable, if that makes sense. So what my goal is to get a sort of interactive process going. Find people who can get on like Zoom calls or something and kind of talk through this, like sort of do interview approach. And of the people I know, for all kinds of reasons, it's just become complicated. And so I'm seeking others who are out there, other people who are out there who are interested in doing knowledge workshopping and content production that actually brings together the pieces, and doing so in a way that, I mean, ultimately it probably does need to be broken down into easier to swallow bits, but I can't be the only person who's able to dive into huge amounts of knowledge and sort of distill different pieces. So, I mean, for example, this concept of accountability, a lot of times what I'm seeing, the way I'm seeing accountability used is it's like just prompting or just going after one person or set of people who have done wrong, as opposed to this sort of systems thinking approach of like looking overall at what I call the whole story in whatever context. I mean, it could be from human history and the present, generations, through to just one project over a period of time, years or something, or months, and kind of looking at, well, what were different people's contributions? Where's the credit, where credit is due aspect, and so on. And what are we trying to accomplish? Whoever the we is. So part of where I'm coming at with this, and this is kind of complicated because I start talking and then it's only at the end of talking, like the end of a period of talking, that I get to the main point, and the main points should be introduced at the beginning of the video. But that's also why I need help, and I'm seeking help. But it's like there are very few people, like the knowledge professions are usually like one specific area, and the whole point here or a lot of the point is to bring together key connections between different fields of study or figuring out that are relevant to each other. And it gets into using these metaphors like pressure and fire, and kind of blending. I mean, sometimes even when I'm talking, just naming facts, it comes across as preaching, and then if people aren't used to hearing preaching, that's a whole thing. And then I've researched how to do preaching and examples, and a lot of it is so focused on like the Bible or something, as opposed to actually what's going on in the present world in a practical, like applying ideas to practice, and concepts to practice, and applying figuring out and learning and making sense of things to practice. including for life navigation and so on. So I don't know if that helps explain what I'm doing. I just feel like there's something about the INTJ or similar sort of intuitive, blending intuition and thinking, and then also feelings and values and examples, and then also this sort of ADHD creativity aspect of ADHD, and bringing that into it, and just kind of doing some messing around and having a playful aspect to it, if that makes sense, even if there's also intensity. And I think that in this day and age, some of these questions need to be sorted through and figured out. And many people are trying to figure out what to do with themselves and with their lives. And I think there's a lot of need for sort of guidance, but then people have to sort of navigate and guide their own lives. And so doing so on the basis of some kind of map of the world and of what there is to know is one way to go about that. So I don't know. I'll leave it at that. Comments welcome. Feel free to like and subscribe. Questions welcome. Requests and all of that. And I mean, of the people I know well, almost everyone is dealing with like extremity and often needing money for basics, and often there are ways to coordinate these things better if more people can come together and sort of coordinate. How can we coordinate housing and food and I mean even let alone different kinds of help and so on. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. I mean, productivity can be generated by figuring out how to do things better with a macro perspective on sort of and yet going beyond just the individual of like how can different people work together in novel ways and sort of reformulate how work can be done. So more soon. Thanks for watching, and I have some degree of faith or confidence that I can eventually get some audience and find more people to figure this out with. More soon.